Hi there. Hope you have a fantastic day today. This lesson, I will go through 2022 HSC questions. Of course, there is a PDF file versions on the description below for you to download so you can work with me. Otherwise, let's go straight into it. To work out the value of A and B, so we know that A is the cumulative frequency. So to work out cumulative frequency, so we start at 98, okay? We write 98 down. And then to get the value of A, so we go 98 plus this value, that is 62. And then the next values is we use A, we add 24 to give me 184. So we just need to work out the value of A. So therefore, we just go A is equal to 98 and then we add 62. Okay, so just add these two values together. So let me just put on a calculator. So I just go 98 with plus 62. So there you go, 160. 160. That is the value of A. And to work out value of B, so we know that B is the cumulative percentage. So in another word, to work out this value here, we just go 98 divided by the cumulative, the total frequency, if you like. So 200, okay? So we go 98 divided by 200 times 100%, okay? Because we want the cumulative percentage. So therefore, to work out the value of B, B is the cumulative percentage. So we just need to work out in terms of percentage, okay? So the cumulative frequency for B is 192. So we just need to work out percentage. So we just need to convert to percentage, if you like. So B will give me, so 192 divided by the total number of frequencies, that is 200. So divide by 200, and then we need to times by 100%. So there you go. So we can cancel these two with these two here. So 192 divided by 2. So I just go 192 divided by 2. There you go, 96%. Otherwise, you can just go 192 divided by 200 times 100, if you like. 96%. There you go. Part B. Which type of complaints will the manager address? So this is the Pareto chart. So we need to know that for Pareto chart, we need to know 80-20% rule. Okay. So 80% is here. So therefore here, this is 80-20% rule. Okay. So in another word, 80% of the complaints will come from behind here. That is stock shortage and delivery fees. Okay. So let me just write this down. So there you go. Next one. So first of all, we know that M is the ice melting in minutes vary inversely with the room temperature. That is T degrees Celsius. So in another word, vary inversely. This means that M is equal to K over T. So that is a general rule. Now, we know that for a room temperature of 15 degrees Celsius, it takes 12 minutes, okay, for the ice cube to melt. So in another word, T is equal to 12. So this means that M will give me 15. So we just use these two values to find the value of K. So let me just replace this. M is 15 and K over T, that is 12. So if I times 12 on both sides to solve for K, and I times this by 12. So they cancel out. That will give me, so I just go 12 times 15. So 180. So K is 180. So therefore, the general rule for this is 180 over t. So that is m. Part B. So first of all, we know that m is equal to 180 over t. So what I do now is to complete the table. So when t is equal 5, so I just put that on a calculator. So I just go 180 divided by 5 because t is 5. So that is 36. 36. And when t equal 15, so I just go 180 I divided by 15. So it's 12. So 12. So when t is equal to 30, so I just go 180 I divide by 30. So there you go, is equal to 6. 6. So there you go. So now we just need to plot these points on the graph. So when t equal 5, m is 36. So we go 5, 36. So the horizontal axis is t, okay? So 5, 36 is here. And then we go 15 and 12. So t is 15, m is 12. So 12 is here. And then when t is 30, m is 6. So 36. So there you go. So what I do now is I just join these points together. So start from the top. I'm just going down, okay? So there you go. Question 13. So we need to use two applications of trapezoidal rule to find out the approximations for this. So we know the rule is, so area is h over 2. So y naught or f of a if you like. So let's say f of a. And then we add f of b. So there you go. That is for this. Okay, let me just draw a quick graph. Just a representation of it. Okay, from 0 to 2. So that is 0, that is 2. And 2 application means 2 area. Okay, so that is halfway between. So it should be 1. So this is f of a, f of b for this area. Okay, and then for this area here, a2, this is, let's say this is a1. So this line here become f of a, and this is f of b if you like. So now what we do, we find area 1 first. Okay, so a1 is approximately the width of the strip is h. So we know that the h is from here to here. So which is 1 unit. Okay, so 1 over 2, which is using this formula here. So keep that in mind. So that will give me bracket. So f of a is 0 because x is 0 here. So 0, so 1 plus 0 square is 1. So that means square root 1 is 1. We add, and this is a1 by the way. And then f of b. b is 1. So remember that. So therefore 1 square is 1. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So plus square root of 2. So there you go. That is area 1. So let me just work this out. So I just put on a calculator. So I just go 1 over 2. And we brackets 1 plus square root of 2. And of course, I close the brackets. So there you go. 1.21 will do. So what I do, I'm going to store this in memory A. So I press answer, shift, store into memory A because I'm going to use this later. So 1.21. So 1.21. And area 2 is, because I already have the formula there, so 1 over 2 because the height is 1. Okay. Now f of a, so this time here, a is this one here. So a is this, f of a. So a is 1, so that means 1 square is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So square root of 2. We add f of b. b is 2. So 2 square is 4 and plus 1 is 5. So square root of 5. And close brackets. So what I do now, I just put that on a calculator. So I just go square root of 2 and we add square root of 5 equal divide by 2. Okay, that's all. 1.83, that's what we do. So 1.83 1.83. So therefore, the approximation from 0 to 2, 1 plus x squared, square root of this, is equal to 1.21. We add 1.83. So that will give me, so I just put on a calculator. So I just go answer plus alpha I. So there you go. 3.032 and so on, but we need to correct to 2 decimal place. So that is 3.03. 3.03. There you go. Question 14. So we need to find the value of k and I. Just remember this, okay? In front of sign is k. So k is the amplitude. So keep that in mind. So amplitude is the distance from the center of the graph to the maximum value. So in this case, the center of the graph is x is 0. So if we go all the way here, so that's the amplitude. So it's 4, okay? From 0 to 4. So amplitude is 4. So that is k is 4. So I just write this down. K is equal to 4. Now, Ix. So we know that the period is from one end up to this end. So one loop. Okay, so start all the way up, down, and back to 0 again. So this is one period. One period is 6 pi. And to work out the period, so P is equal to 2 pi over n. Now in this case, n is I, because n is in front of x, okay? So I is in front of x, so which is 2 pi over I. But we know that the period is 6 pi. So this means that 6 pi is 2 pi over I, because n is I, okay? I is in front of x in this case. So to solve for I, so what I do, I just times by I on both sides. So this will give me 6 pi I is equal to 2 pi. And I can divide by pi, so this cancel out. And then I divide by 6. So I is 2 over 6. 2 over 6 is a third. So therefore, I is a third. So there you go. Question 15. So first of all, we know that we had 2 dice is 1 to 6. And the other die is special dice. That is 1, 2, 3, 5, 5, and 5. Okay, so remember that. And one die is randomly selected and tossed. What is the probability that the die shows a 5? So first of all, let's say this die is die I. So we have 2I, okay, because 2 die is the same. And this die here, special die, is B. So what is the probability to show a 5? So first of all, the first die, we need to select a die first. So we can either select a die I or die B. So let me just draw a tree diagram to explain. So we either have an I or a B. Now to get an I, because we have 2I, okay, 2 dice I. So that means 3 dice are together. So we have 2/3. And to get a B is 1/3. So now if we select a die I, so this means that we can either get a 5 or not a 5. Now to get a 5, we have only 1 5. So 1 out of 6. So keep that in mind. So 1 over 6. And not a 5 should be 5 over 6. And if we select a die B, that is special die, to get a 5, so we have 3 5 out of 6. So 3 out of 6 is a half, if you like. So I just write a half will do. And this one, not a 5, is a half as well. So there you go. So now we need a die that shows 5. So we can either have die I and shows a 5, or die B shows a 5. So that's it. So now the probability will give me, so we have 2/3 times 1/6. Or we can have a die B that is special die. So 1/3 we times a half. So there you go. So what I do, I just put on a calculator. So I just go 2/3 times 1/6. And we add 1/3 times a half. So there you go. 5 over 18. Part B. given that the die shows a 5, what is the probability that it is the special die? So first of all, we know that the for conditional probability, so probability of A given B is equal to probability of A and B over probability of B. So please keep that in mind. So we know that given that the die shows a 5, so this means that, so we need to work out the probability of the die shows a 5. We already done that in part A. So this is 5 over 8. And we know that probability of A and B, that is probability A and B is this branch here. Okay, probability of A and a 5. That's what that meant. So now what we do, we just go equal to A and B is 1/3. We times a half. And then we divide it by 5 over 18. But rather than do this, I can just go like this. Okay, I can just go divided by 5 over 18. So that will give me, so I just time together for a half times a third, 1/6. And I just flipped it, 18 over 5. So that should give me, so 18 divided by 6 is 3. So it should be 3/5. Otherwise, you can just put that on a calculator. So there you go. Question 16. So we need to find the area that enclosed by the line and the parabolas. So that this one here. So first of all, we know that the x value is -1. And this x value here is 3. So we need to find the area from -1 to 3. But because of this straight line here on top, so what we do, we just use the straight line, we minus the parabolas. Okay, so let me just work it out first. Okay, so we know that 2x plus 3, we minus the parabolas, that is x squared. So now we just integrate that from -1 to 3. So let me just move this up. So the area is equal to, so we integrate from -1 to 3, 2x minus x squared plus 3. And dx. So now what I do, I just evaluate this. So that should give me, so 2x squared divided by 2 minus x power 3 divided by 3 plus 3x. From -1 to 3. And of course, I can just simplify that. So that can be written as this. Okay, let me just write this out. So that give me x squared minus 1/3 of x cubed plus 3x. So there you go. Now I just substitute this value in. So that becomes, I replace x with 3. So that is 3 squared, which is 9. And minus 3 power 3 is 27. And we times 1/3 of that. So it's 9. And we add 3 times 3, give me 9. And now we minus when x is -1. So -1 squared is 1. Become positive 1/3. And then -1 times 3 is -3. So now what I do, I can just cancel these two out. So I just put the rest on the calculator. So I just go 9 minus brackets 1 plus 1/3. And then we minus 3. Close brackets. So there you go, 32 over 3. Or we press shift SD, 10 and 2/3. So 10 and 2/3 square units, okay? 17. So first of all, the cards requires 3 cards on the top row and 6 cards the next row. And each successive row has 3 more cards, okay, than the previous row, if you like. So what we do, let me just write this out, okay? So first row is 3. And the next row should be 6. And we keep adding 3. So that 9. And we add so on, okay? So keep that in mind. So now we need to work out 12 rows, okay? Add together. So it should give us this. So let's work it out. So we know that S of n is equal to, because for arithmetic series, n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 d. So now we just substitute this value in. So we find s of 12. So s of 12. So we know that 12 is n. So 12 divided by 2 is give me 6. And we know that I is the first term. That is 3. And 3 times 2, it give me 6. And then we plus n, because n is 12. So 12 minus 1 is 11. And then we times by d. Now, in this case, d is the second term minus the first term. So that gives me 3. Or third term minus second term. So 9 minus 6 is 3. Okay, d is 3. That will give me, I just put down a calculator. So I just go 6 plus 11 times 3 is 33 equal, I times by 6. So there you go, 234. So 2, 3, 4. There you go. Part B. So we know that the total number of cards is 828. So we need to work out how many rows there are. So first of all, we know that S of n, n over 2, 2a plus n minus 1d. Now we just need to evaluate n. And we know that a is 3. And the common difference is 3 as well. Okay, so now the sum is 8 to 8. So n is, we need to find out. So n over 2. And then that give me 2a. 2 times 3 is 6 because a is 3. And we plus n minus 1. We don't know what n is. And we times by the common difference. That is 3. So now what I do, I times 2 on both sides because I need to get rid of these 2 here. So I times 2. And I times 2. So I just put on a calculator. So I just go 2 times 8 to 8. So there you go. 1,656. So 1,656. That will give me n. And what I do, I just expand the brackets as well. Okay, so 3 times n is 3n. 3 times 1 is 3, but minus 3. Okay, so that becomes plus 3n minus 3. There you go. Okay, don't forget these two already been cancelled. So what I do now is I simplify inside the brackets. So that 1656 is equal to n. 6 minus 3, it gives me 3. So I just write this down. So 3n plus 3. So now what I do, I expand further. So that gives me 1656 is equal to 3n squared. And n times 3 is 3n. So there you go. So I have to make it into ax squared plus bx plus c. So I can solve this, okay? So I move this on that side. So that means 0 is equal to 3n squared plus 3n minus 1656. So what I can do, I can divide every term by 3 because 1656 is divisible by 3 as well. So I just go. 1656 divided by 3. So there you go, 552. So this is exactly the same as 0 is equal to n squared plus n minus 552. So what I do, I just work on this side. So this means that n squared plus n minus 552 is 0. So to work this out, so two numbers times together to give me this, and the difference is 1. So what I do, I just try and error with using calculator. 552 divisible by 4, right? Or 3. So we can divide by 4, see what happens. So 138. The difference must be 1, so it should be quite close. 4 and 3. Let's divide by 12. So 552 divided by 12. Still too much. And then can divide by 2 as well. So I try 24. So 552 divided by 24. So there you go. 23 and 24. Of course, you can use quadratic formula to solve this, or you can use completing of square. It doesn't really matter, okay? So 24 and 3. But then 24 must be positive because it's plus n. So we have n plus 24 and n minus 23. So therefore n equal negative 24 or n equal 23. But then because it's application, we cannot have negative number. So therefore n is 23. So therefore n is 23. So therefore we know that there are 23 rows. So therefore, okay, 23 rows. So there you go. Question 18. So to differentiate this, what I do, I use power angle trick. Okay, power angle trick. So I differentiate the power, we times by differentiate the angle, and then we time differentiate the trick function. In this case, we don't have trick, so we just ignore that. Okay, so the power is 4. So we bring it down and we less one become power of 3 instead. So let me just write y dash is equal to 4 x squared plus 1 power of 3. So that power is done. So the angle is inside the bracket here, count as angle. So differentiate 2x squared plus 1 will give me 2x. Okay, keep that in mind. So which is time by 2x. I can just bracket it. So there you go. So what I do, I just tidy this up by simplifying it. Okay, so this time together give me 8x. Okay, so the answer is 8x. X squared plus 1 power 3. So there you go. Now part B. So we need to integrate this. Now to integrate this, if you think about it, okay, this one here is exactly the same as this part here, except we have the 8 extra. So keep that in mind. So what I do, I can just time by the function by 8 and I divide it by 8. So it gives me the same result. Okay. So what I do, I write in equal to, so I times this by 8 and I divide by 8. So I can write as this. Okay, let me just clear this and it's space. So that means it's the same as this. I go 8 and I times by 8 in here. So 8x. So x squared plus 1 power of 3. So there you go. So if we differentiate, this function here will give me this. This is this function here, see, and then dx, of course. So therefore we know that this integrate this one here will give us these functions. So that will give me 1/8. I just write this down, and then that is x squared plus 1 power of 4. And don't forget, we need to add a letter c. So there you go. That's the answer. Question number 19. So we need to work out from these original functions to this function here, what sort of transformations, okay, it is. Okay, so we need to work it out so that we can find m and the value of k. So m is translate m unit to the right, okay, and the k is the vertical dilation. So we just need to work it out. So now to do this, let me just write g of x first. Okay, so g of x is equal to 3x squared minus 12x plus 7. So there are multiple ways to do this. So the way to do this is, I think the best techniques is we completing the square. Okay, so to complete the square, we need to get rid of this first. By how? By factorize this. Okay, we take the 3 out. So if I take the 3 out, so we divide every term by 3. So that will give me x squared and 12 divided by 3, give me 4. So 4x. And 7 divided by 3, we just write 7 over 3 we do. So there you go. So now we just make the inside bracket is completing the square. So what we do, we half this 4, that is half of negative 4, give me negative 2. So let me just write 3 first. And I just do rectangular brackets because we have another bracket. So we halve that. So that become x minus 2. And we square it. Now keep that in mind. If I expand this square out, it give me exactly same as this here, but with the 2 square extra. So 2 square is 4. So I just need to minus 4 out. So that should give me minus 4. And that will give me the same in this group here. So 7 over 3, I just write this down. Okay, so I just plus 7 over 3. So there you go. So what I do, I simplify this a bit further, or I can just simply times 3 first. Okay, just get rid of the fractions. So that will give me, so 3 times this group will give me 3x minus 2 all square. And 3 times negative 4 is negative 12. And 3 times 7 over 3 give me 7. So plus 7. So there you go. So now I simplify this further. So that becomes 3x minus 2 square. And 7 minus 12 is same as 12 minus 7. So 10 minus 7 is 3. Add another 2. Give me 5. So minus 5. So there you go. So now what happened is this 3 is a vertical dilations with a factor of 3. And inside here is horizontal translations from the x square. Okay, don't forget. Is minus 2 inside the bracket. That means horizontal shift 2 units to the right. And whereas this negative 5 here, that means from x squared, we move down 5 units. Vertical translations, 5 units down. Keep that in mind. So we just need to answer the question now. And we need to find the value of m. M is the translations m unit to the right. So that means to the right m unit. So m is 2 because it's moved 2 units to the right. So that is m. So just write, therefore, m is equal to 2. And k is the vertical dilation with scale factor of k. So therefore, k is 3. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're working with me and got all of them correct. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.